we're under a different administration. We're all looking forward to making America great again. What do you think we should expect for the coming years as it pertains to mortgages?
Trump won, and he's all about bringing in manufacturing. It's all about growing business and making you money, saving you money. All of that is really hidden home with most people. I think this is a great time for people to get really serious about the basics. What do you really want in your life? Not just for now, but what is your dream? What do you
Yeah,
want for the future and for your kids, right? So what
yeah.
do you want? And then start there.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Krista welcomes you home. Here on this channel, I discuss topics related to real estate and finances. I'm a real estate agent in the DFW area, and I'm also a financial consultant, and I specialize in helping individuals build wealth building strategies. And today I have Marcos Rincon on. Today, he is with Canopy Mortgage. He's a loan officer. He's been in the business for over a decade, and we're going to talk mortgages and what to expect in the coming year. So, Marcos, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Crystal, for giving me this opportunity to explain what I do. I have been originating mortgages for over 12 years now. And prior to that, I worked 5 years with a housing organization, helping people to qualify, fix their credit, explain the process, et cetera. So I feel very confident and knowledgeable about the loan process and what it takes to get a loan approved. I work for a bank and we do all the financial decisions. So the buck stops here. It starts with me showing you the ropes, explain the process, trying to find out what your dreams are, trying to develop a path so you can achieve them. And once we get to that point, we get the loan process going and get a realtor like you to get them house.
Great. Listen, I know this is a big time, a huge time for us all here in America. We have Trump in office, so we're under a different administration. We're all looking forward to making America great again. We're all looking forward to the interest rates dropping or doing something better than where they were, right? And we're looking for an improvement in our overall improvement. Just wanted to ask you, being a loan officer, right in the thick of things, what do you think we should expect for the coming years as it pertains to mortgages?
Well, to start with, to give a little context, for the last few years, it's been a dull haze hovering over all of us, the economy. There's a lot of negativism out there. There's a lot of pessimism out there. Uh, People losing jobs, inflation. We all got hit with it. Now it seems like there's a whole lot of new optimism and enthusiasm in the market. But because Trump won, and he's all about bringing in manufacturing, it's all about growing business and making you money, saving you money. All of that is really hidden home with most people. I've seen lately a lot more people coming out. They've been sitting around waiting for rates to go down, and they hadn't come down. But you know what? The longer they wait, they're going to lose money anyway because prices are going to go up. The market's going to get a lot more competitive this year. I mean, soon in the next couple of months, where the market starts heating up. So I already feel it. But just think about it. All the people moving out of California, especially with the fires, people with during hurricanes, people with everybody everywhere where there's high crime. Uh, they're coming to Texas. They come into Texas, Florida. They go to Florida too, but they get their hurricanes. But I think this is a great time for people to get really serious.
Yeah, I agree. I know we spoke a little bit off camera about the interest rates that we were getting years ago, the 2, 3, 4% interest rates, where it was a favorable time for most to buy because the interest rates being so low. However, it wasn't a buyer's market. It was a market basically for sellers. Sellers are the ones who won actually under those low interest rates.
Well, you may remember that builders jacked up the prices a lot. Remember that? They say, well, the wood prices went up. So they had contracts on a house in some places that I knew people that came to me says, is this fair? They raised my price 30,000,
Yep.
20,000,
Yep.
50,000, and take it or leave it attitude. That kind of thing.
While
Because
they were under contract.
they, they had lines of people waiting for that house, right? Well, things
Yep.
like that are going to happen. The market's going to saturate it. There's not enough property out there. So
Yeah.
what's going to happen? Builders are building more, but they take time to build. And not everybody wants to go into a subdivision. They got no room. You're up against the house is up a few feet away from the other house, right? Very little privacy. But a lot of people that I see, they're waiting to get rid of the current home, get another home.
Yeah.
And they're stuck
Yeah.
because they're afraid of the interest rates. But you know what? Buying a house is not all about rates.
Yeah.
It's about the cost of it, and what it takes, what kind of priority you want to give to your house. So I start people thinking about the basics. What do you really want in your life, not just for now, but what is your dream? What do you
Yeah.
want for the future and for your kids, right? So what do
Yeah.
you want? And then start there. And then
Yeah.
start that, well, this first year, we can start here. We can
Yeah.
make this real. And then in a few years, you can go to the next level, next level. If you want to
Absolutely.
invest in properties, I help you do that as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So let's talk about investments. I know that I've been meeting more individuals who are interested in the investment part of it. Um, what type of advice would you give a new investor, younger person who's wanting to start off in investment and start off pretty strong? What kind of advice would you give them as it pertains to what type of investment to go after?
Well, for someone who has little to no experience, I would say first get an education on it or hook up with somebody who has that experience, who's willing to work with you, right? So you can learn the business. Not many people want to teach you the business either. So it's not that, it's going to take that special person that's willing to give up some of their time and knowledge and experience to work with you, right?
Mhm.
So you got to have that available. But once you get it, then you can go on your own. But let me tell you, I know a lot of people lose a lot of money thinking they're smart about everything. They're architects, engineers. I mean, they're smart. But when it comes to investing, they may be dumber than anybody else, right? They'll lose money just like anybody else. They underestimate what it takes. It's
Yeah.
not just being smart. You have to have experience or people around you that have experience. When when some people they would say, "Well, I've got a house already, so I want to start investing in other properties." So okay, well, they have no experience, but at least they have home ownership experience. At least that, right? But I said, well, who do you know that can help you find the property? So, well, I know Crystal. She's a realtor, and she helped my brother and Baba. And they bought houses, and they did real well. Well, start there, right? Start there, and have Crystal look for a property that's just the right situation, the right price points, where with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you can sell it and make a profit. You know,
Yeah.
that's fairly secure, relatively low risk, especially in a hot market. In a hot market, it's not like everything's going to sell. It's not about just selling. It's about selling and making the profit that you're looking for. So that takes a
Mhm.
lot of experience and talent. Right?
So you have your options. You have your fix and flips where you can buy low and sell high. That takes a little bit of strategic planning and working with a realtor and finding a good property in a great area during a hot market. So there's timing there. There's you have to look for value and you're looking to buy low and sell high. And then you have other options in terms of if you're like looking to get your first time homeowner, and instead of buying an individual dwelling, you can go after maybe like a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. Live in one of the units and rent the other units out, and thus you can start your investment property there or journey there. And then after 5 years, 3 to 5 years, you can pull out the equity and then, rinse and repeat and do that again a couple times. Um, I know that a lot of, I've noticed since being in Texas as a realtor, there's a lot of investors that do not use their own money to invest. They use the bank's money. Can you give us a little bit about that?
Well, sure. If you use your own money and you lose money, well, that's going to hurt. Okay, so at least when you get a lender, you get a loan for it, you got some flexibility, and at least you have your own cash to back you up in case you need it. But there's all kinds of loans out there. It's all kinds of prices, so you have to be really cautious about what kind of deal you get into in the first place. But it starts with getting the right property, right? But there's a lot of unknowns. I mean, I'm really surprised how many contractors I've talked to in the last 3 months that have been in the business a long time, and some of them didn't even know they could get financing.
Yeah.
They just didn't know they get bank financing, or other people just said they couldn't get, or they're maxed out. They already have two loans out there. They need to get another one, but they can't get more financing from their lender. I said, well, we got loans where, if you want to get a house and to flip it, or you get a house to rent it, we can keep on going based on the property itself, on the asset. You know, uh, for example, we have a loan to where the income will be based on the rent income for that property. It doesn't touch your income.
Mhm.
Doesn't touch it. So what that means, you can do that once, twice, three. There's no limit how many properties you can get under that program. There's no limit.
Yeah.
So you can get 5 to 10 properties and they're all paying you rent. You're collecting, you become a landlord. You gotta be available to be a good landlord, right? So and collect that money. But you know what? That's a gold mine for some people that are dedicated and focused to do this. Yes.
Yes, I like that. Oh, we didn't talk about, and I want to just briefly discuss it. Now there's these changes in laws. Well, not really changes, but enforcing the fact that they can no longer report medical bills to your credit report. So I'm looking that in the next couple of months to see a lot of people walking away with some high credit scores because those medical bills are going to be deleted and erased from their credit report. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I haven't seen it yet happen. Okay, I haven't seen it happen yet. Hasn't trickled down yet. But you know what? That's a little help, but it's not an answer to everything either,
Yeah.
because we were already not using medical bills against people anyway.
Yeah.
So it sounds good, but I don't think it's going to have the kind of impact maybe you might think it would. You know,
Really?
you gotta stick to the basics to qualify for a loan. You gotta have decent credit.
Mhm.
If you don't, work on it, and don't be relying on just everybody who's offering you credit repair. I mean, you can lose not only a lot of money, but a lot of time and be the same boat after thousands of dollars paid off and you're nowhere, right?
Yeah, some of those
There's
big
a
credit companies are being sued right
Oh
now.
yeah, well,
Those,
I fix credit for my customers and I don't charge anything. Why? I said, well, why don't you charge me? Well, my commitment to fixing your credit is I'm going to do your loan. Get my commission when I close your loan. That's
absolutely.
how committed I am, right? If you're committed, I'm going to help you, right? So, but I'm good at that. I know exactly what it's going to take to get the loan approved. You know, as opposed to other people say, well, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, or we'll get stuff deleted and score hasn't improved. No, I take more of a strategic approach to fixing credit. And you don't have to have a perfect credit. A lot of people think you have to have an 800 credit score. No, or 700. No, you can get 600. You can get 580. It's harder to qualify all around, but it's still possible. Anybody that's under 600, I'm going to say, well, let's get you over 600, over 620 to begin with. And that's an
Mhm.
easy jump to do. I'd rather get them into a 620, 640 at least to get better rates and better pricing. Mhm.
Yeah. And what would you tell a person, like, what is your typical down payment that they should have saved up if they're looking to get a home anywhere between 3 to 4? 100,000.
So let's just say if you want to get an FHA loan, the minimum down payment is 3.5%. How much is that? Well, 300,000, that's about 10,000. That's not too bad. Oh, it's only 10,000? Yeah, but it's not the only cost. You still got closing costs and prepaid taxes and insurance. So you might be ending up paying like on 12 to 15,000 altogether on a 300,000 house. That's not too bad, right?
No.
Uh, and people who are challenged with even getting that, you might qualify for a grant, you know. And if you qualify for a grant, well, that offsets most of those expenses, not all of them, but most of them. So make it much easier. So I get a lot of people that are really short of money, not because they're not working, they're working hard. But I get a lot of single moms. They
Mhm.
got kids that they get no child support at all. I mean, they, they got my respect because it's tough to be single
Yeah.
mom and have 5 kids. That
Yep.
I had a lady had 8 kids, right? No child support, making it. You
Wow.
know, yeah, it's tough, but a lot. My heart goes out to them, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, if they're short of cash, I'm going to offer them assistance of some sort, right? And prioritize them. But there's a lot of people that don't know what to do. You know, they're afraid of taking that step. How can I get this done? I need to get out of this house, this apartment, right? Or they have to get out of the house because the landlord already sold the house. You got to get out there. And what choices do you have, right? So they come to me, and I find out what they really need and want, and I show them very simple steps of what to do, right?
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I know with a lot of clients that I speak with, when you mention, or have you, talk to a mortgage broker, they're like, I don't want to get my credit pulled, or I don't think I need to talk to a loan originator until I get some things paid off on my credit. And I encourage people to make sure at the very first step after you find your realtor, you need to speak with a loan officer. That is the person who's going to educate you on what the next steps are going to be in order to get you in that pre-approval. He can even help you get your credit to where it needs to be so that you can qualify for a loan.
That's correct. And let me just also mention that there's all kinds of lenders out there, right? And there's people that work for large banks, and they're most of them, I would say, don't provide you the personalized service that you really need. Plus, you're not going to be speaking to the same person throughout the process, right? So, who you're going to be talking to, somebody in Charlotte or San Francisco or Florida, they don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know your issues or they weren't there to discuss what your dreams were either, right? Much
Mhm.
less answer the phone when you really need them, right? So
Yep.
you don't get that level of customer service. Then you have smaller banks like us, medium-sized banks. So we specialize in providing more personalized attention. And we're a mortgage bank, meaning that we do all the financial decisions ourselves. We don't go outside, right? So we can turn something around quicker and be more flexible in what we can do. And we offer a variety of a large variety of loan programs to choose from. Now, the third level is a broker. A mortgage broker has a lot of variety of loans, but they don't make any decisions themselves. They have to wait on somebody else to make a decision. Again, that other lender is not going to know you. You right? Know your personal issues. So I think I'm in an ideal situation where I can spend as much time and energy as needed to get the customer when they need. As long as I know that customer is committed, they're prioritizing buying a home. It's a family thing now. Everybody in the family has to be invested in it and make it work, right? And I'll
Mhm.
help them.
Good. I like that. And I do like that about your company and your team, how personable you guys are and how you work with those unique circumstances where everyone is not an 800 credit, 50 credit score. Everyone doesn't have a millions of dollars saved in the bank to purchase a home. But I like that you don't say you're denied, you give that not right now. There are some things that we need to do, but here's a action plan to get you to that approval that you're looking for.
And that you're right, but there's another level of approval that's you have to be watchful. And I know you know this or experience. You get a lender to give you a pre-qualification letter sight unseen over the phone. Oh, you make this kind of money? Oh, okay, you graduate someone. Okay, here's the letter. Well, builders are, notorious for giving you that approval. You get on a contract with a builder contract. 8 months later, when the house is almost done, they get seriously dig into your profile and your credit. It's, oh, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for this. How come? Well, you had this tax issue, or you had this credit issue, or you had this debt, or whatever. After you have months of visiting the house, going up every week, the kids and
Yep.
everybody, and have your hopes high, and then a week before closing, the sky falls on you, right?
Yeah.
Some offer all kinds of incentives, right?
Yeah.
And that sound attractive, but what good is it if they cancel you at the last minute? I
Yep.
had a guy close his loan in Midland, going driving home with keys, and he gets called. They cancel his loan. Now,
No.
is that tragic or what? I mean, but I do get a lot of people, mostly from larger builders, that didn't take the time to really go deep into the customer's qualifications. And then last minute, they discover something wrong, the debt ratio is too high or whatever, they cancel a loan after all these weeks and months of anticipation, right? But I get those and I fix them. I find a way to get them done, and I do. I'm the kind of like a go-to guy for that.
That's why I wanted to bring you on the channel, because I know that you have alternative financing for people with those unique situations. What do you say about Dallas? Where do you think Texas as a whole? I know I primarily work in DFW in the Dallas Fort Worth area. What would you suggest to anyone who's looking to move and purchase in the state of Texas right now?
Well, I do get a lot of people from out of state moving into Texas, and the most popular locations are Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston. San Antonio also. The housing market is really different in San Antonio compared to Dallas and Houston, but it's still very busy. No, I see the growth continuing, especially when you see all the stuff going on in California, and people. It's tragic what's going on there, but people are moving out,
Yeah.
and people had kind of doubts, even though there wasn't a fire near a fire, but they have stuff going on every year, all the time throughout the state. I know I had my one of my daughters lived in San Francisco for a number of years, and I said, well, why don't you move over here to Texas? Blah blah. You got all these mudslides and earthquakes and drought. Says,
Mhm.
Dad, you got tornadoes in Texas. I said, yeah, but it's not that tragic, whatever. And eventually she said, well, yeah, we're moving to Texas because that drought situation is really serious over there. You know,
Yeah.
not to mention the state income tax and the high prices and all that. So things are just getting worse over there before they get better. But they're moving to Texas mostly.
Yeah.
And we're more than happy to help them get their financing, help with the relocation. Whether if I get a lot of people that are working now in the petroleum industry in the Midland area, but they're living in Houston and Dallas.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of loans, and not every lender is going to do those loans because they work 2 weeks over there and they're off another week, that kind of thing, those kind of schedules, and they're not living where they work either, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's issues that we specialize in like that, and also a lot of people who are recent immigrants, they can get a home. They get a lot of people get denied because they don't have 2 years of work history. I said, well, you have a year of work history here, but you come from Nigeria, you come from Mexico. Did you work there? I said, yeah. Can we verify? Well, that counts. That counts for work history. Or they were in nursing school. That
Yeah.
counts for work history also. So there's a lot of alternatives, a lot of options that people are just not aware.
Yeah. I like that. Um, I agree. Because I know that's one of the big things too. People are like, okay, well, I know I have to have 2 to 4 years of working history. Where now they're doing like bank statement loans, where as long as you can show that you have income going into your bank or your bank account, you can get approved for a loan that way as well. Another good thing about Dallas right now is that they're building the Universal Studio right next to the PGA. So that's another good attraction and was bringing a lot of people here too, because they're constantly building up. I mean, I was just on the road today and I'm like, every day there's a new apartment complex or a community being built, and it's just awesome to see and witness. I'm really grateful to be in Texas at a time like this, especially the Dallas area, just to watch the Phoenix and how they're just building cities and so many different attractions are coming here. So as a realtor, it's just a happy day for me
Yeah,
and you
for
as
sure.
well. Um, where can I, if someone is looking to move and they're needing to talk to a loan officer, someone they can trust, someone who's a vet like yourself, where can they reach you?
Well, I have an office in Plano. I live in Dallas. I can always be reached on my phone.
Okay.
And my cell phone, I answer all the time. If I don't answer because I'm busy, leave me a message and I'll follow up. I have a really good team and we do follow up. We do our best to try to screen people in the beginning to make sure we're hitting all the right things and they have an understanding of what they're getting into. And so, and if they're serious, if they're, some people are just window shopping, and I get it. Uh, but some people are tired of this window shopping. They want to go ahead and commit, and they got to get out of that apartment. Their kids, they need to get in a better school, that kind of thing. So we show the basic how that can happen, right? That's what we do.
Yeah. And I'm glad you also mentioned like the down payment assistance that's available. I know that there's a lot of down payment assistance programs in the Dallas area and some of the areas in the outskirts like Frisco and Plano. So, I mean, we have options for people who are looking to buy right now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and drop your phone number down in our description so that if anyone is out there who's looking to speak with a loan officer, someone who's going to take the time out to actually get to know you and your personal situation and help you to get on the track to getting that pre-approval, I'm going to go ahead and link his number, Marco, so that you can reach out to him. Again, like I said, he's with Canopy Mortgage. He is a branch manager, so he's super busy, but he has a wonderful team. Trust me, I've worked with him myself. And I'm so thankful that you found time to sit down and talk to me today. We're gonna have to do this again.
Absolutely. We touch on all kinds of different topics, and the thing that I love to do is to get down to the basics of what it is, to simplify the process. It's not complicated at all. It isn't. But it seems like complicated, and everybody gets hit with so much publicity and advertising. You don't know what's really real, and does it apply to your personal situation? I get personal. We have to get personal because it's your life, it's your money, it's your family. It's a big decision to make, but it can be very simple and straightforward. We try to get that done that way.
Yeah. And when we're getting away, my slogan is we turn renters into homeowners and homeowners into investors. And
Yeah,
and I mean that because we're getting away from renting. You're gonna pay 100% interest rate on a rental,
yeah,
opposed to a
yeah.
6% interest rate if you were to buy. And then we're all about legacy building and creating generational wealth for
Mhm.
your family. And it
There,
starts with home ownership.
there you go. Investment's the game, right? We
Investments
can
is
help
the
with that.
game.
Mhm.
Yeah, so well, I'm going to wrap up this session. I appreciate you for coming and speaking with me today. You're going to have to come back. And by all means, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you would like for us to come back with a video, if you just have questions that you would like for Marcos to answer, just go ahead and drop a comment or your question in the comment section, and we'll sit back down again, can't we?
I'll be happy to help anybody.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your time. And I look forward to 2025 just being a great year for us.
It sure will. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.